Pebble lives. Google has open-sourced PebbleOS, paving the way for more smartwatch hardware. In fact, Pebble founder Eric Migicovsky apparently aims to develop a new smartwatch. Quoting TechCrunch, 4 years after launching the then most lucrative crowdfunding campaign in Kickstarter's history, smartwatch maker Pebble abruptly closed in 2016, filing for insolvency before being sold off to rival Fitbit. The fitness tracking giant went on to build much of its Ionic smartwatch with help from former Pebblers, along with Pebble's pioneering software stack. It could be argued that Pebble was simply too early to the space. The Apple Watch launched in mid-2015 and proceeded to suck much of the oxygen out of the room. It would be massively oversimplifying the situation to suggest that it was merely another case of Sherlocking, however. Apple, after all, raised public interest, ultimately setting the stage for countless other smartwatches after. In fact, founder and CEO Eric Migicovsky believes instead that the company's rapid growth and feature expansion caused Pebble, which sold 2 million smartwatches, to lose sight of his initial vision. It certainly wouldn't be the first time a hardware startup was felled by such a fate. Yet Migicovsky is ready for round two. We're restarting Pebble, he told TechCrunch with a massive grin on a Zoom call Monday. How exactly? Well, Pebble branding faded after the company was bought. Its acquirer, Fitbit, was itself sold off to Google in 2021. Now Google, which still owns the technology and all of Pebble's IP, plans to open source the smartwatch brand's software stack. By open sourcing access to PebbleOS, Google is opening the door to new third-party hardware, and Migicovsky's smartwatch startup is the first on that list. It's still in the idea stage, he says. The company needs a new name, something the Beeper co-founder and former Y Combinator partner hasn't quite gotten around to. But he tells TechCrunch that he has thrown himself into the project full-time and will be able to accelerate things as access to PebbleOS opens up. He is currently its only employee, but there are plans to bring on another around March. The startup's goals are fittingly humble. Migicovsky says he simply wants to make the watch he wants, given that the Pebble he wears to this day is now a decade old. I've tried everything else, he says. I have very high standards. Those are, according to a new blog post on Migicovsky's personal site, always on e-paper screen. It's reflective rather than emissive, sunlight readable, glanceable, not distracting to others like a bright wrist. Long battery life, one less thing to charge. It's annoying to need extra cables when traveling. Simple and beautiful user experience around a core set of features I use regularly: telling time, notifications, music control, alarms, weather, calendar, sleep, step tracking. Buttons to play, pause, skip music on my phone without looking at the screen. Hackable. Apparently you can't even write your own watch faces for Apple Watch. That's wild. There were more than 16,000 watch faces on the Pebble App Store. In spite of his time at YC, Migicovsky has no plan to raise VC funds, nor does he plan to return to the Kickstarter model that gave rise to Pebble. He is currently self-funding the project and says he plans to build it modestly based on consumer interest, end quote.